Hi everybody, this is Misty. I haven't been on for a while. I'm just watching some videos. Um, there's a young girl that came on to talk about her experience with the chemotherapy that I had, the type of chemotherapy that I had, and I thought, wow, how interesting. I just always think about just fibromyalgia, but my brain doesn't break things down, and I don't have a producer to help me or anybody writing my scripts. I don't have scripts. Maybe it would help if I did, but I don't even know where to start. But a lot has occurred since the last time I talked to you guys, and I decided that I'm going to try to get better at breaking down my story a little bit more so people can relate and identify and figure it out, that they're not alone, that there's a lot of us out there that have a lot of the same symptoms. Typically when I hear somebody sharing and they will add something more that I don't have, automatically my mind cancels them out. So I'm not identifying. I'm comparing, and I really need to practice that, because practice not doing that, because then I miss out on a lot. And this young lady really just opened up my eyes to, I've been feeling purposeless, and COVID has made it to where I can't even go to do a commitment that I have when I visit a particular corrections facility and bring in 12-step meetings. So, I figured, let's talk about your experience, and, when did your journey start? Well, of course, I'm, going to mentioning that that I bring 12-step meetings somewhere. Obviously, I'm in a 12-step program, and I had issue with alcohol, and when I was in my 20s, and it was, but I did notice that when I drank, I thought I just partied so hard that my hangovers were 4 days, 5 days long, like sick migraines, no um, no remission during the day. Like, it was straight on in bed. My sister would come over and help take care of me, my kids, my household. And it was almost like I had an allergy to the alcohol. Where now research is showing that people with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which I had, um, that's one of the issues that they can have, is that they experience pain with alcohol when they consume alcohol. So ta-da, I learned something else. Thank God today I have quite a few number of years behind me and experience that tells me that you don't want to do that anyways. And thank God that it brought me to the support that I have now, because even with my illnesses, it's not about drinking or anything like that. It's now I have a great support network. Sometimes, though, we can have the best support networks, and it doesn't make it to where our head tells us that we're not in a good place. Our feelings aren't facts, but they're still there. Things like that. So, in 2015, I had a full-on hysterectomy, which to me would separate myself from other people that have the same things I have, but it doesn't. And let me tell you why. Because I think I still had this underlying issue. I had these underlying things, but I think that having that hysterectomy just kicked in my body into full speed, into where this might have came out later in my life. I really believe that now, with all the research and things I know about myself and my body, that I believe is what has occurred. So, another thing I want to mention, I mean, there's so many topics here. I'm going to do another video after I processed today earlier, because I had my hearing for my disability, and it was really strange, ever since COVID has changed everything. And so I'll address that another video. But today, I'm going to talk about the beginning of my journey, and it was 2 days after I was still in the hospital after having that hysterectomy, because mine was not an in and out surgery, which I won't get into because doesn't matter. What does matter is that I noticed a rash on my backside about this big, and it was out of nowhere. I didn't have it before I went in the hospital. So, my mind tells me just put calamine lotion on it. It itched, that kind of thing. Well, it didn't go away. It left that spot and ended up here on my arm, about this big. Raised bumps, itching, just really itchy. And then over a course of the next year, I can tell you that I've been to doctors, I've been to specialists. They've sent me to the hospitals because the specialists couldn't figure out what's going on with me. They've taken skin samples. I mean, I really worked the gamut of the doctors, and they've worked me. So I can just tell you that this was still before my diagnosis of Hodgkin's. Nobody still knew I had Hodgkin's. But now I watch videos where I hear doctors a year ago even just talk about, you could have fevers that you don't know where they come from. This young girl I just was not talking to, but I felt like I was in her, sitting there having a conversation with her, listening to her. She was talking about that, unnecessary, you don't have the flu or anything like that, but you have fevers. I had that for 4 or 5 days straight. I couldn't get up off the couch. I was sleeping. I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to do anything else. My husband was like freaking out. He didn't know what to do with me. And then finally, I just had to tell him, I think I'm dying. I need to go to the hospital. He helped me get in a car, and we traveled to an hour away because the area I moved to, the hospitals did not have the technology that I knew. I go to one hospital in Orlando, Florida, and it's amazing. So anyways, went there, and it was so amazing that nobody could really figure out what was wrong with me. So, I had a whole team of doctors. I tell you, I had the infectious disease doctors. I had, just nobody knew. The good thing, though, that I'm really fortunate is that through all this, my records show that doctors never said that there was nothing wrong with me. Doctors never said it was in my head. Doctors knew there was something wrong. They just couldn't figure out what it was. And then finally, I came across doctors, and after my research of constant being on YouTube and listening to UCLA doctors and specialists and looking up big fancy words, I come to realize that not everybody's on the same page with the illnesses, I actually was choking. I couldn't even swallow a hamburger. I was trying to eat a hamburger here at my home. My kids came over and they were cooking out, and I could not even swallow a freaking hamburger. I was choking. I thought I was going to die. And, but when they go like this, they couldn't feel the lymph nodes. When they were digging in my armpits, they couldn't feel. But when I finally got a PET scan down the road a year and a half later, it showed I had hot spots here, I had hot spots here, I had hot spots all through here, so there's my message today with this video is that, listen, you've got to be your own advocate. You've got to do your own research. You cannot just be a head shaker and be like, okay. My experience with chemotherapy was not a good one. I don't want to come on and scare people. If you're looking for videos to find out experiences, did I get through it? Yes, I did. Did I try quitting? I did. I got to a point where, for me and my personal decision, I just didn't want to go back and do any more of this. And nobody said it was fun. Nobody said that everybody else wants to quit, but I did. I quit twice, which prolonged it, unfortunately, for me, because my doctor had to be very blunt with me and show me that my hot spots weren't gone, and that if I didn't finish the chemotherapy, that I would die. And at a certain point, the guilt I had for my family, my kids, my husband, is what kept me going. Because if it was just me, I probably would have said, no, I don't want to keep going. That's how bad it was for me, this individual. And everybody has their own journeys, and everybody has their own limits, and it's just the way it is. So I have been through quite a bit since my last video, but I've decided it's not just going to be about fibromyalgia, because my journey is a lot of things that a lot of people can probably relate to. People probably have been looking on the internet to try to figure out what's wrong with me, and trying to find people that are real people, not just doctors that say, these beautiful little presentations that they have, but they haven't been through it. It's really nice when you talk to people who've been through it. Like I said, I've been through the gamut. A lot of good has come out of it, as far as being closer with my mom, having more time to spend with my family when they come over. It's not quality because I can't do anything. I can't interact with them. I can't pick them up. I can't go outside because the heat, period, not just the direct sun, but the heat makes me break out and itch and hurt. And my skin already feels like, I got a sunburn constantly. On the top of my head still hurts. Like if I were to go like this to my head and just, how people can do massages on their head? I can't do that. So there's just quite a bit of things that I think that I'm going to start trying to create mini topics out of and make mini videos, so that not just many, M-A-N-Y, but M-I-N-I videos to, just so we can relate and you're not alone. And I can tell you that I am seeking. The one thing that the Social Security Administration, my attorney, the judge, they've all said separately, wow, you have a lot of medical evidence here. And it's because I'm not going to stop until I figure out how to help myself. I'm not one of these people. I don't want to live on disability. I don't want to stay like this. I don't want to give up and collect a check that will never be enough for the standard of living that I'd like to have in my life. I can't help other people if I don't have a vehicle to do it. I don't want to be one of those people that need to be helped. I want to be an example of how you can do this and move on and have a fantastic life. And that is what I'm going to continuously to fight for. But I feel like right now I'm going to end this video because I didn't have anything written out. I just felt led to hurry up and get on here and put something up to say this to you. So if you're out there and you want to know more and you want to hear my experience, it's going to be coming. But I am going to try to have my friend who's really good at writing and all that help me put some things down on paper so I'm not all over the place. Because I started a story, then I jumped somewhere else in this video already, you noticed. So it's not bad, it's me. This is part of what chemotherapy, this is part of what fibromyalgia, this is part of what cognitive issues I have now do. This is part of a lot of it. So I just want you guys to know that there is hope. There really is. As long as we can get in a situation where we're not giving up, there's always hope, and there's always something bigger than us that we can look to keep us going. But anyways, I'm signing off now. Bye, guys.